When was it when, you know, uh, we were doing things, right? So these opportunities are have opened up for you, and I think it's the best time that you can get started with CPA. There are many reasons for it. One very important is the changes that is coming around in CPA, the simplest of all the reasons. The second important and more important reason is the world of opportunities have opened up for CPA, not just in US and India, but across the world. There's an ocean of demand happening for CPA. I was just talking to one of our students working in US. She said the CPA are in massive demand. Any interview that I have been attending, they are only and only asking, have you completed your CPA? That much is the craze and demand for CPA. And I was very intrigued to understand what is the starting package of a CPA in US. And you'll be surprised to know it is close to $70,000 to $80,000 per annum. $70,000 to $80,000 per annum. That's a starting average salary of a CPA, which if I take $70,000 also, it becomes close to 60 lakhs per annum in INR. That's a 60 lakhs per annum. And you don't have to go to US to achieve that salary. In India, with 3 to 5 years of experience, the average salary of a CPA is above 15 to 25 lakhs. It's ranging between that kind of salary. Can there be a better time to do this? Answer is, it is now, or you are losing on this bus. Not just that, in terms of changes which is happening in CPA, in terms of examination, in terms of how difficult is the passing, how difficult is passing the CPA, all of it and a lot more I'm going to take you through in this very important webinar. Let me take you through the examination and the number of papers. CPA has four parts, and that's it. Four papers. That's all. It has just four papers, and it takes 12 to 18 months to complete the exam. That is very much on the higher side. 18 months is very much on the higher side. On an average, if you are taking one paper every 3 months, which we suggest, one paper every quarter, you are going to take 12 months on an average to complete all the four papers of the exam. The total cost of CPA is around 2 lakh change, but including Becker content and everything, it is going to be slightly higher, but not so much. We have made it very affordable for our students across India to pursue CPA. The passing percentage, if you look at 45 to 50% is the passing percentage for both CMA and CPA. But if you look at individually for each paper, the passing percentage is as high as 62%. That's a very good passing percentage. That's a very good passing percentage compared to most other qualifications from around the world. Career opportunities with CPA qualification by your side, you have immense career opportunities in India and globally as well. CPAs are paid royally today because of the scarcity of CPA qualified professionals around the world. You can start your practice even sitting in India also. You can do basic compliances for US. Not just that, if you look at Indian companies, they are hiring CPAs as good as CAs or ACCA. And how much time will it take? Just 12 to 18 months. In fact, 18 months is very much on the higher side, 12 months, and 4 papers are done. Before the end of 2023, you can easily complete at least 2 papers. At least 2 papers you can very confidently complete. Which path to choose? This question is always there, which path to choose, CMA or CPA? But today I'm going to talk primarily about CPA. If you ask me generally, sir, which part to choose, CMA or CPA, my recommendation is always go for CMA first. Always go for CMA first. That is generally my recommendation. But I leave it to your prerogative. You may ask me, so why do you recommend CMA first before CPA? The only reason is CMA requires much lesser investment compared to CPA. The second reason, if you want to know, is CMA has 2 parts compared to CPA, which has 4 parts. The third reason, whatever you are studying in CMA, you are also going to study in CPA and more. So whatever you have studied in CMA, everything is going to be very much in use when you start your CPA. So you are going to get two qualifications which are together very, very powerful for you. Not just that, the CMA is going to give you a strong knowledge base, which is going to help you pursue your CPA with much more comfort. If you are, particularly for those who are not coming from a commerce background. If you are coming from commerce background, this is not a superior advantage for you because you have good basics knowledge already. But why this year? Why in 2023 I have changed my statement? Only in the year 2023 I am guiding students to begin their career with CPA and not with CMA. Why that very strange shift in my guidance? The reason is the evolution which is happening in the CPA exam. CPA exam, what all changes are happening, I will take you through, and it is very, very important that you safeguard yourself and grab this opportunity before change materializes and comes into effect. With North Star, with all the programs, with CMA, particularly CPA, it comes up with 100% guaranteed placement. It is not placement assistance, it is not some fancy words, it is 100% guaranteed placement, wherein you would certainly be placed through North Star itself. We work with a lot of corporates who has been literally following up and literally, demanding that we fulfill their requirement for CPS. And unfortunately, we are not able to provide them with complete resource that they are looking. And these opportunities are pretty good. The demand for CPA is huge compared to the supply today. Somehow we are managing the supply with CPA, one paper passed, two paper passed, with CA inter and two papers passed. Somehow we are managing the requirement of the corporate. But fully qualified CPA, of course, we cannot supply 5,000 numbers together at one go. No, we can't supply immediately, at least. Yes, there will be a time when we can, but immediately it is challenge for us. So demand from the corporate is very much on the higher side. We work with a lot of content providers and a lot of bodies around the world. AICPA is one body for CPA, IMA for CMA, ACCA for ACCA qualification, Gleim, Becker, Kaplan, Swinzer, BPP, Wiley, all these are content providers and institutes from around the world with which North Star has collaborated to bring these qualifications and content to you at a very, very affordable pricing. Becker is one of the most dominant player in the industry for CPA today, capturing more than 85% of the international market share for CPA. Their contents are really, really amazing. Books, material, software, LMS access, they are very much up to mark to ensure that your success is very much assured. Our comprehensive training benefits, you are going to be assured that our training is designed in a fashion that it is certainly going to make you pass. Through our comprehensive training, we have made the entire content very simplified with a lot of questions, MCQs solving in the class itself. If you are a working professional or if you are a full-time student, you have very limited time to study, it is perfectly fine. It is going to make it happen with your limited time. But the minimum that I expect is between 1 to 2 hours of daily study time. If you are able to dedicate 2 hours on an average, sometimes 1, sometimes 3, sometimes nothing, sometimes more, somehow you are able to manage an average of 2 hours of study time every day, CPA will happen in your very first go without you realizing that you have made it through. If you look at the exam structure for CPA, there are just 4 parts. If you look at the exam structure in India for CA, so CPA and CA, are they comparable? Answer is yes. In the Indian context, we call them chartered accountants. In the Western concept, we call them public accountants. All right. So CPA is certified public accountant. They do exactly the same work what chartered accountants in India do. The only difference is the chartered accountants in India, we struggle with 20 papers and 3 levels with an average passing of 15%, whereas in CPA the average passing percentage is above 45%, almost 3 times. And the total time duration here in CA becomes around 5 to 7 years, but in CPA it becomes 1 year. And that's where the magic is. The opportunity cost, whatever time you are spending in CA and other qualification, similar amount of time you can get one additional qualification in addition to CA. If you are doing CA, great. Add CPA because it is going to be a very deadly combination for you. It's going to take your career to an altogether different level. We are seeing a lot of our students, immediately after passing 2 papers, 3 papers, 4 papers, they are increasing their worth in the market. Not just if they are into working, but also into self-practice. A lot of CPAs I'm seeing, they're gaining work from US CPA firms. And what good way to earn money than earn it in dollars? There cannot be a better way, right? So CPAs in India are working for US clients and getting paid in dollars. You call it a main job, you call it a side hustle, it is working beautifully right from India. And these 4 papers, are they really challenging to pass? Answer is no. Very, very confidently, I can tell you, no, they are not challenging to pass. It is quite possible that with an average passing percentage of 45 to 50%, you are most likely to pass this exam in your very first go. In fact, we don't call it attempts at all in CPA. We just don't call it attempts. And the most beautiful part, even companies don't look at it as attempts. How many attempts did you pass your CPA? Nobody asks this question. And that's the best part of it. If you look at the papers, there is a financial accounting and reporting FAR paper, which in simple word is accountancy paper. Whatever you have studied in your college, everything is covered in this FAR paper. The only fear that students think is whatever I've studied, that is IFRS. But whatever is covered in FAR paper here is US GAAP. Answer is yes, you're true, correct. But if you know IFRS, you know 90% of US GAAP also. That's a underlying information. You already know more than 90% of the US GAAP because there is very small basic differences here and there. Overall structure is uniform in IFRS and US GAAP. So much so that the revenue recognition, that standard that we follow in IFRS, US GAAP has adopted exactly same revenue recognition for US GAAP as well. So there are many accounting standards that has no differences in IFRS and US GAAP, whereas others have very minor differences which can be covered in just 15 to 20 minutes of reading. That small a gap is. So FAR is something that you already know. BC is something that most of you must have studied in your colleges, like ratio analysis, budgeting, capital structure, raising finance, costing, marginal costing, absorption costing, capital budgeting decisions. Ratios I have already told. All of this you have already done. Standard costing, all this you have already done. Same thing is covered in the BC paper. And incidentally, BC paper has the highest passing percentage of 62% today. 62% is the passing percentage for BC paper, the highest in the entire CPA exam. In fact, some of the times it has gone even much higher than 62%, touching as close as 75% as well. Unfortunately, this BC paper is getting discontinued from 2024. This BC paper is getting discontinued from 2024. And that's the saddest news. If you look at auditing paper, whatever you have studied in colleges for auditing, that may sound very boring because what I studied was also boring for me when I studied. But the CPA auditing paper is one of the most interesting auditing papers, at least I have ever studied. It's very practically and real life scenario situations. Whatever you are studying, you are going to practically be visualizing situation and studying. The best part is there is no memorizing at all, because the entire auditing paper is an MCQ based auditing paper. There's no human intervention at all, because the entire auditing paper is checked by bots. So there is no human intervention at all. So is there something that you need to write it? Answer is no. There's nothing that you are going to type and write. It's all fill in the blanks. It is all choose the right option. It is all choose the right, choose from the right drop down options. For example, statement will be there, and in the drop down there will be 4 options, something like pick list. So from the drop down option, you need to choose which one of the 4 or 5 or 6 options you think is a correct answer. This is one kind of objective questions. The other type is what we are very familiar, MCQ kind of questions, like which of the 4 is the right correct option. The third type is fill in the blanks. There will be fill in the blanks. You need to fill the amount, number, or from the options you need to choose one of the option to fill the blanks. So entire paper is a bot paper which is checked by the bots, which means there is no memory at all. In simple words, can I say it is 100% MCQ papers? Answer is yes, it is 100% MCQ paper. All right. If you look at reg paper, this is also 100% MCQ paper. This paper is also checked by bots. PAR, yes, all these papers are checked by bot. There is no human intervention except for BC paper. In the BC paper, there will be one testlet which will have a question which are going to be tested by a human. This is going to be a paragraph. The beauty of this question is you get a lot of marks in this paragraph writing, because it is not just around memorizing, it is only and only around your basic fundamental concept and understanding of costing and finance. It's only around that. You should be very familiarized with these questions the moment you have completed your MCQ preparation. So there's nothing additional efforts that you need to put in for writing this paragraph. All right, so this is the only paragraph question which are human tested. Otherwise, the entire examinations are evaluated by the bots only. To be able to do CPA, you should have the minimum eligibility criteria of 120 credits. All right, 120 credits. If you have 120 credits, immediately good. In case you don't have to panic. You will be able to get 120 credit through our bridge course that we offer here at Northstar. Through this bridge course, you will be eligible to get 120 credits in case you don't have. How do you get 120 credit? If you have done your graduation BCom or any graduation with accounting in it, then you get minimum of 90 credits. All right, minimum of 90 credits. In addition, if you have done from a NAC college, you get another 30 credits. So which means you've got 120 credits already. If you are a CA inter passed out, then you get another 30 credits from your, in addition to your graduation. So you are also immediately eligible. In case those of you who have done your graduation but not from NAC, you would be getting only 90 credits, which means that you may not be eligible immediately to write the exam, but through our bridge course, you will become eligible before the end of 2023. All right, not before the end, before the mid of 2023, you would immediately become eligible. So if you are a NAC A plus college or NAC A, you get immediately 120 credits, which means you are eligible to write the exam right today. Right today, you can become eligible to write the exam. And in case you have 90 credits, don't worry. Don't feel disappointed. We will ensure that you get additional 30 credits so that you can write the exam this year itself. If you look at the CPA bridge course, we do a CPA bridge course in MCOM or MBA in strategic finance. So through this, you will get a minimum of 30 credits. and a maximum of 60 credits. So 30 to 60 credits you would be getting. Now, why am I insisting that you should be completing your CPA or you should be passing or enrolling for CPA in 2023 itself? The basic and the most important reason is the evolution that is happening in CPA. What change, what evolution is happening? Understand, in the CPA, there are 4 papers: BEC, Reg, FAR, and BC, or audited. So out of these 4 papers, 1 paper is going to get discontinued. Unfortunately, the paper which has the highest passing percentage, it is getting discontinued from 2023 end onwards. Means this year is the last year in which the BEC exam will happen. Next year onward, this paper is going to get discontinued. And since this paper has the most common syllabus compared to your BCom, MCom, your CA, most common syllabus, this has a very high passing percentage and requires much lesser efforts to pass. In fact, if you are able to give 50 hours of study time, you will be able to pass this paper. 50 hours of study time, you will be able to pass this paper. If you think I am, it's unrealistic, let me tell you what all it contains. It contains ratio analysis, it contains capital budgeting, it contains standard costing, marginal costing, it contains cash budgets. All of it you already have studied. Don't you think so? You have studied all of this sometime in the past in your life? Yes, no? Let me know in the comment section if you have studied these topics. At least basic fundamentals are really strong already with you in these topics. And it will not be very challenging to finish this. Not be very challenging at all. All right. So this paper is getting discontinued. In addition to this paper, what is getting introduced? So there is ISC, Information Systems and Controls. There is BAR, Business Analytics and Reporting, and TCP, Tax Compliances and Planning. So instead of BC, you will have 3 optional papers you to choose from: option A, option B, or option C. Now, which of these 3 papers are going to be good? I am not sure, because we don't have the detailed content for these papers, and you will be first time you will be writing the exam. First time you will be writing the exam, so not sure what would be the content, what kind of questions will be tested, because any change it happens, the initial days is always challenging for anybody, including us. So we have to wait and watch to understand what kind of papers or what kind of examination are going to be, or what kind of questions are going to be asked for these papers. But so far we are quite confident about BC, because there are thousands of students who have written BC exam and they have been able to complete it successfully. Now, this is not my suggestion alone. This is basically also the suggestion that Becker has given. If you look at the CP evolution and study plan development prepared, with Becker, which is our content partner, there is huge recommendation by the Becker team to convince and motivate our students to complete the BC exam. Because so far, even the content for the other paper has not been published. It will unnecessarily put a lot of pressure on the students when they move to a new system or to the new papers altogether. If you look at what changes are happening, auditing is continuing, FAR is continuing, regulation is continuing, BC is going to discontinue. This paper is going to come here, this paper is going to come here, this paper is going to come here, but this paper is going to go into some of these and some of these also, some area, and getting discontinued. This will become ISC or BAR or TCP, depend upon your choice. So will you be studying this paper anymore? Answer is no, you will be studying these 3 papers. Some concepts here is going to go into ISC and BAR, but it will not become a standalone paper which was easy to pass. It is not going to become, there may be some chapter which is easy, but entire subject being simple to pass, of course, motivates students a lot. So CPA evolution, no more BC paper. So no written communication. You remember I told you somewhere we have to write a statement in BC, but that also is going to go away. Written communication is not there because BC paper is only disappearing. No more authoritative literature. We had an open book exam in BC. If you don't understand a concept, you can always open a book. Soft copy of the book was always given to us. And through the soft copy of the book, we can go and read anything that we want to look at the literature, look at the books. So it was kind of an open book exam wherein you can open the book, understand concept and write it as well. So open book is also going to discontinue here. You can't open any book now. All right. So earlier you had to pass all the papers within 18 months. But now all those students who are enrolling now, you will get 30 additional months to pass the papers. 30 additional months to pass all the 4 papers. Which means if you have passed BC exam right now, then you will get from 1st of January 2024, you will get 30 more months to pass 3 more papers. 30 more months to pass 3 more papers. Can we carry books for BC exam? Answer is no. It is an open exam wherein you can only access the soft copy of the book. All right. So 30 months for 3 remaining papers. Is it not a bonus? Currently, we get only 18 months to clear the CPA exam, and we are able to do in 18 months. We are able to do in 18 months. And that's why I say 18 months is the highest possible time that you can take for CPA, because that's a time limit given by AICPA only. You can't take more than that naturally. So ideally, you complete your CPA within 12 months only. Transition timeline. So BC application will end on March 15th, 2023. So March 15th is the last day where you can apply for BC exam. And after that, BC exam will never be tested again. All right. So once you have passed this in 2024, you will get longer time to pass these exams and get your results. You'll get much longer time to pass the remaining exams. In the transition phase, what does Becker suggest? So it says CPA evaluation has a transition policy. If you have passed odd, you don't have to write odd paper again. If you have passed FAR, you don't have to write FAR paper. If you have passed reg, you don't have to write reg paper. And incidentally, in all these papers, there are no major changes. So odd you study now, odd you study in 2024, it is not going to be any major changes. FAR you study now, you study in 2024, it is not going to be major changes. But when it comes to reg, BC, the BC paper is completely going to disappear and other 3 papers optional. Anyone you can choose, any of these 3 papers you can choose, those optional papers are going to find a place. And that's why Becker suggests take BC only and only and only in 2023. This is their advice, which is very much aligned to what I am recommending right now. So 2023, don't miss out this opportunity. Don't miss out this opportunity. If you enroll right now, all of you will get the 30-month advantage. All of you will get in fact, you will get much more than 30 months, because 30 months will be calculated from 1st of April. But there is no finalization rule. There are still rules which has to be notified. How much time will you take to complete the Beck paper? Business, 80 to 100 hours is the maximum. This is for those students who know nothing about costing, who know nothing about financial management, who knows who's not a commerce background, or who's very weak. But for you, like I said, whatever syllabus you are going to study here, it is already very well aligned with your BCom and your CA syllabus. I don't think you should be facing any challenge whatsoever. All right. So can you crack it in the next 80 to 100 hours, which means next 2 months, can you crack this BC exam? Answer is yes, you can crack the BC exam in the next less than 3 months. All right, in the next less than 3 months. So this exam window changes is going to be effective from 1st January. So till 15th of November, you can take the BC exam, which is the last window, but we generally never recommend the last window to be waited for, because if you miss by any chance, you will never get a second chance. So please crack your BC exam right now. Your life will be filled with opportunities. You will get all the financial independence that you have been dreaming for all these while. How much efforts will it take? Just 2 months efforts and BC paper can be cracked without any challenge at all. All right, so it is very much possible. You can crack it. And if you want to know more about North Star, you can go to Google, read about our reviews, check out what our students have been telling about us, and read a lot of them. You will be highly excited reading what we have been doing for our students, how we have transformed their career, their industry today. Not just passing the exam, you want to pursue any other professional course tomorrow, these knowledge, what you are going to have from CPA and CMA is going to be really good for you to pursue any professional courses going forward from here. Because CPA has and CMA has all these knowledge that you require. It will give you an extensive knowledge about accounting, about taxation, about auditing, and about the fundamentals, costing concepts that you should be knowing if you are looking at a middle level managerial position in a corporate. So I will leave it on to you to decide when is the best time. My job here ends to educate you of a moving bus which is moving really fast. You get onto the bus, sail through, you wait for the next bus. I don't know how the next bus is going to be, whether you'll have vacancy, not, no, I don't know. Today, all I know is 2023. If you miss it, it is going to be a disaster. You cannot miss it at all. Do it. If you add it with your BCom, add it with your MCom, with your MBA, or with your CA, it is going to make you glow like never before, in terms of opportunity, in terms of respect, in terms of prestige, in terms of money, because that also matters quite a lot. Imagine once you have completed your CPA, you work with US clients. You go to US, you work there, or you sit in India and work with US clients. What you are doing here in India, working for 8 hours, 10 hours, and getting a salary, you can get at least 3 to 4 times more salary doing the same hours of work. You can earn 3 to 5 times more consultancy fees from US clients sitting right here in India. Because all that they want is your license number to believe you, to believe your skills, to believe your knowledge, to believe your talents. All that they need is your license number. Once you have your license number, you can get clients from any part of the world. And today, the pandemic has taught us that for working in accounting domain, you don't need to be present physically. It is all happening remotely now. Even audits are happening remotely now. You can do audits, you can do tax compliances, you can do everything. You can do advisory, consulting, management reporting, everything sitting here in India as well. How much time does it take for the eligibility evaluation? It will hardly, through North Star, it is going to take within 15 days.